Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to share with you my January favourites. So this is something I've done off and on. I've never really been consistent with favourites, but I'd like to be a bit more consistent, and so today, which is February the 3rd, I am recording my January favourites. It's not ideal. I planned to do it by the end of January, but I didn't get to it, and so I'm doing it now. I have a mixture of stuff. I've got some beauty items, some not beauty items. There's just, I've tried to kind of pull together a mixture of the things I really loved, and it was quite hard this month because there's been a lot of stuff that I've really liked. So I have a little list on my phone as well, just so that I don't miss anything that I wanted to mention. So I'm going to refer to my list. Let's start. We'll start with beauty because I guess that's probably the reason that most people subscribe to my channel, I guess. So I have two items. The first one is still in its plastic and it's got kind of messy now, but this is the Maybelline Total Temptation Mascara. This was released, I think, around Christmas time over here. I got this as a Christmas or birthday gift. I can't remember which. I think it was a birthday gift from a friend of mine, and it's really good. I'm a bit weird about mascara. There's some that I like and some that I don't, and all the ones that everybody likes I don't. So everybody really likes, oh, it's the Too Faced Better Than Sex. Everybody seems to love that mascara, and I liked it for a while, and now it doesn't work for me at all. The only one that I seem to be on like general consensus with everybody is the Benefit Roller Lash, which is really good and I do really like. But this at the moment is my favourite. It's got a good kind of, it's a bristly brush. This is really gunky now, but it's a bristly brush rather than a plastic, you know, like a rubber brush. And it just kind of, it does it all. It gives good length, it gives good volume. It's not really terribly separating, but it doesn't give you like full-on spider lash. And I really like it, and I don't think it's terribly expensive. I think it's probably under £10, and so that has definitely been a favourite. This is all I've worn this month for mascara. And then a lip product. This is, there's a story behind this lip product, and it makes it kind of an ironic lip product. Earlier in the month January, Lisa Eldridge put a video up that was kind of, it was a tutorial, but it was kind of based on the principle of, we don't have to go out and buy new stuff. We can use stuff that we already have. You can use similar colours, and you don't have to keep spending. There's new stuff coming out all the time. You just have to sometimes just take it easy. The irony is that she used a lipstick in that video, and I looked up what it was, and it was this, and I went out and bought it. This is the Lancome Shine Lover, and I had the box. I have the box. It's one of their shiny silver boxes. This is in the shade Twisted Beige, and this is, they call it a Vibrant Shine Lipstick 8-Hour Moisture. It's a really nice, sheer, moisturising, like really pigmented lip balm is how it feels. Maybe just because I've got a lighter shade, and potentially in some of the different, you know, the darker shades, it might feel more like a lipstick, but this really feels like a balm. It's really light, it's really moisturising, it's got a good amount of slip. It's a really good colour. Like I said, I am wearing it now, but for fun, that's a swatch. So this is a really nice kind of, they call it beige. It's a nude pink as far as I'm concerned. It's got a little bit of shine, and it's just nice. It's just wearable and comfortable, and I've worn it to the office a lot. It's been really good. That has been, of all of the stuff I've had this month, I think you've seen one haul. There are 2 more hauls that I've already filmed to come, one of which is a makeup haul, and there is a shit ton of stuff in that haul. But of all of the things that I've had in January, this guy has been pretty much my favourite lip colour product. From makeup onto hair stuff, 2 products. One is like a hair accessory and the other is an actual product, so we'll start with the accessory first. It's these guys. These are the Erickson Grab and Go Pony hairbands, hair ties. I got one of these in a Birchbox, possibly, I think, because I bought that from Birchbox. One of these in a Birchbox 2 years ago. These are the best ponytail bands I have ever used, and I'm not even sure I can entirely explain why. They're quite thick, so they're quite chunky. They've got a little plastic thing on, but it's not metal, so it doesn't snag your hair. They've got a good amount of stretch to them. They sit around your wrist really nicely if you're someone who takes their hair up and down throughout the course of the day, which I often do when I'm at work, depending on what I'm working on or whether I'm in a meeting or not in a meeting. Weirdly, if I'm not in a meeting, I tend to have my my hair up, like if I'm working, concentrating on something on a computer, and if I'm in a meeting I tend to have my hair down just because I feel better that way. And these are they're just the best bands. Looking online, it appears that in the UK the only place you can get them is from Birchbox's website, and they don't have a huge colour selection. So this one, they call this light silver metallic, and in this tube I think it was 15, but it doesn't say on the front and I can't entirely remember, but it's kind of grey, silvers, white and black in this tube. They have another one that's called something like blonde metallic or bronze metallic, which are like kind of goldy tones, which I didn't really like the look of. If you're in the US, Nordstrom have a billion different options, and so you will knock yourself out because there's so many to choose from, and we don't have that many here. But they're great bands. I think it was about £12 for the tube, which I guess it's kind of expensive for hairbands, but it's not that bad. They're really good quality. The one that I originally had was like a light grey one, so similar to this but slightly lighter. And like I said, I've had it for probably 2 years and it's still completely fine, not worn out, not fraying, nothing. So really good hairbands, which is not ever something I thought I'd mention in a favourites video, but there you go. The other thing may have been in the haul I just put up. If not, it will be in one of the upcoming. This is the Redken Windblown. I bought this, my hairdresser used this on me when I last had my hair cut, and it's a bit like the Bumble thickening spray, and I had said in that haul video where I mentioned this that I preferred the Bumble thickening spray, but actually having used this throughout the rest of January, it's possible that this is a serious contender for the Bumble. I've got it in my hair now, which has started to flatten down as I've been sat here, but it's that really good, like, texturizing, hold kind of, yeah, it smells good. It doesn't feel sticky or heavy. It does that thing that I like my hair to do. So weirdly, I feel better about my hair when it looks probably messier than it should, but I like that kind of movement, texture kind of thing, because I don't often, like, I certainly don't go to the office with my hair like that, so I just like that kind of, a little bit kind of piecey and a bit messy. I like that. This does that, and it smells really good. It definitely smells better than the Bumble does. Bumble smells great, it's a great product. I think this is slightly cheaper. I think this is a serious contender, so we'll see how long it takes me to get through this and whether I might be replacing that Bumble with this guy. Next up, I'm going to talk about a media thing. I have in the past talked about TV shows. I don't watch a ton of TV. I don't watch any real TV. Like, the last time I turned my actual TV, like my, you know, Sky cable box thing on, was for the Super Bowl last year. So I'll probably watch some of the Super Bowl this year. That'll be it. Generally, I watch YouTube, I watch Netflix, Amazon Video, Amazon Prime Video, whatever they call it now. Rooster Teeth, I'm a subscriber on the Rooster Teeth site and I love all of their content. I periodically mention them, but realise that they're probably not necessarily something my audience would want to watch. It's a bit of a curveball compared to the content that I make here, so I don't know. I'll leave them linked below, you can check them out, they're awesome. And also the Great Courses Plus, which is another thing for another day. But on Netflix this past month, so in January, they have released 3 or 4 seasons of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which is Jerry Seinfeld's series. It was a web series, so it was on a website when it originally launched rather than on a TV channel. So this is Jerry Seinfeld, who, depending on how you feel about Jerry Seinfeld, you either think he's very funny or he's not. I think he's incredibly funny. I'm a huge fan of his show, so from 20 years ago now, I'm a huge fan of Seinfeld the show, and I'm a huge fan of him. I think he's hilarious. So Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is exactly what it sounds like. He is a classic car fanatic, junkie, nerd, whatever you want to call him, and he gets a classic car of some description, he picks up another comedian, and think like, we're talking like high profile comedians, so Steve Martin, Ricky Gervais, who else have I seen, Sarah Silverman, who else, did I say Steve Harvey? Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in an episode, lots of people, lots of famous comedians. So he picks them up in the car, This is all filmed the whole time there's cameras, and then they go to a diner and they get coffee or breakfast or lunch or whatever, and they just talk, and you're just following their conversation. And there's a lot of talk about kind of process and about how comedians come up with their jokes, and there's a lot of jokes, and it's just brilliant. The episodes aren't very long, probably under 20 minutes each. There aren't very many that go longer than 20 minutes, and it's just, if you're a person who's interested in comedy and comedians and that process of writing jokes and how comedians think and how they figure stuff out, it's a great show to watch. So I would recommend that. It's on Netflix. Comedians in cars getting coffee. On to a consumable food and drink type item. Bit of an unusual one for me. It's this guy. So this is Cointreau. Cointreau is an orange liqueur, so like triple sec, that you would use if you were making margaritas. This is the blood orange version, which came out just before Christmas, and it is not terribly strong. It's 30% volume, so not super duper strong, so not as strong as like Jack Daniels would be, for example, not as strong as like vodka. It's a liqueur. You can drink it on its own. It mixes with lemonade, and by that I mean what we would call lemonade here in the UK, so like almost like what you in America would call lemon lime soda, so kind of like 7-Up Sprite. It mixes great with that. But I have been drinking it with tonic water, and it makes just the most amazing, like refreshing kind of cocktail-y type drink. The tonic water has that slight bitter sour note that cuts the sweetness of the blood orange, and it's just the most perfectly balanced yummy drink. I obviously don't advocate drinking if you're not a drinker. However, if you are a drinker and you're looking for something a little bit different to drink, try this. Even try the regular Cointreau. If you can't get the blood orange, the regular Cointreau, which is ever so slightly more bitter, not as sweet as the blood orange, is also delicious. You can use it for a bunch of different things, and I mean, you can see by how much is left in the bottle, I have loved this. I actually got this just before Christmas, so I was drinking it. This has really been like a Christmas through January favourite, but I love it. From a food thing to a techie thing, I've had these for a while, but I'm going to share them now because they are a favourite. They've been an ongoing favourite, and I haven't filmed a favourites video, so now is the time. These are the Apple AirPods, which are the little, you know, the little earbuds that don't have a wire. It's these guys. I am not a massive audiophile. I don't listen to a ton of music. It tends to be at work. Sometimes if I'm trying to concentrate on something, I'll put music on just to drown out the people talking around me. Or when I'm walking somewhere, I tend to have music on. I don't tend to just listen to music when I'm in the house. And when I am listening to music, I'm not someone who feels like they need the absolute best, super duper high-end quality headphones or whatever. I was using the Apple wired headphones for the longest time, and they were just fine for me. It serves the purpose. I don't listen to anything that's like super bassy, so I don't need anything that kind of caters for that. And so I got these just because I like this shape. These little earbuds, I like that shape. That fits in my ear really well. I like that you can charge them, so they hold a charge, they themselves hold a charge, and then the little case, which looks like a dental floss tube or dental floss box, also holds a charge, so you kind of have double charge for the actual earbuds in the case. I haven't lost them, which is a result for me. I did have one day where I actually lost the case, which was quite clever. I put the earbuds in and thrown the case down because I was rushing, and then went out without picking the case up. So when I got into my friend's car when she picked me up, I took the earbuds out and it was like, shit, where's the case? And I'd left it at home, but I found them, so it was fine. But huge fan, really like them. And they do cool stuff, like they recognise when you've taken them out of your ears. So if you're playing music and you take the earbuds out without pausing the music on your phone, it automatically pauses, which is very clever. So huge fan. If you are in the market for £160 earbuds and you're an Apple user, I would recommend them. My last item is a clothing item, sort of, but not really clothing. It's these guys. These are the Ugg, and I think they are called, No, it doesn't say. I think they're called the Scuffette II Slippers. So I'd seen people talk about these, and I've tried multiple times in the past to wear slippers, and I've never really done it. I was always like a barefoot kind of girl. And I would, like, if I needed to go out to put stuff in the bins outside, I would just kick a pair of trainers on and I would go out in trainers, or just in bare feet because I'm disgusting. However, I took the plunge and bought a pair of these because they're not cheap. These were, I think these were about £85, which is insane really for slippers. But I decided I would take the plunge, and they are the most comfortable slippers ever. They've got like a sheepy kind of, so this kind of sheepy that's on the edge is on the inside, so it's like super squishy and plush. It's a solid, what do you call that, like a rubber? It doesn't actually say, that's really interesting. Rubber, plasticky kind of sole, and so it's fine to just, like, if you need to just run outside into the garden or something, great for that. They're so comfortable and so cozy. I love them. They've held up really well. I've had them for 3 or 4 months now, maybe, wearing them a lot. I have splashed them with water and I don't have any watermarks on them. They have just been such a good purchase, and so if in the tail end of winter you are looking for cosy slippers and you want to have a bit of a splurge and a bit of an investment, these are a great option. I never thought I would be the kind of person who wore these slippers. I don't know what the kind of person who wears those slippers is. Apparently it's me now, but I don't know. They kind of felt a bit, and they do still feel a bit old lady to me. Like, there's nothing terribly elegant or sexy about them, but they just, oh, they're so good. They're so good. So yeah, would recommend if you want something a little bit pricey, splurgy. And that, as I'm going to throw the slippers back down and then put them back on my feet, that is the sum total of my January favourites for 2018. Can you believe it's 2018? That's just, it's crazy to me. Like, just, where is my life going? Yes, I don't think I've missed anything. I think that was everything I wanted to share. So if you have any thoughts or questions or comments on any of the things that I have mentioned, please leave me a comment below. It would be really nice to hear from you, and I will be back very soon with another video that will probably be a haul, because I've got 2 of those pre-filmed and I'm trying to, like, kind of mix them in with other videos. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.